I want to recall for our audience when you and I first started interacting. Do you remember?
Uh-uh. No, I have
Um,
no idea.
I I bet you it'll jog your memory once I start talking, but I was doing an investigation for the Nation. I had been having a number of conversations with the late James Tomshek, who was the chief of internal affairs of CBP, and he became a whistleblower because he had witnessed a number of internal investigations that were basically quashed. I wasn't the first one to report on him, but I did a number of follow-up stories based on his revealing anecdotes and things. And one of the things he told me was about at one of the training academies. I think it was in South Carolina, the Border Patrol
Hmm.
training academies, that there was a pretty high incidence of sexual assault. And
Yep.
I asked a bit more about that, and he told me that he thought it was even more prevalent than he had witnessed. And at that point, I had one or two sources within Border Patrol, and they're like, yeah, it happens all the time.
Yeah.
And then I saw you had been already kind of coming out and making a little bit of a stink. And we got in touch, and I did an early interview with you about
Mm.
that. I couldn't get enough corroboration to convince my editor to go forward with the story. But I spent probably 2 or 3 months getting testimony, but a lot of the people wouldn't go on record. I only had James Tomshak, and then I think you, and then there weren't any other people who would really get into the details. So the story never went anywhere. But you've since spent a lot of your, I guess, maybe second career
Yeah.
exposing exactly that. Well, I was
Yeah.
sniffing around back in, I think that was like 2016, 17, maybe around there. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah. Because my suicide attempt was in 2015. And then I started, once I got to a little bit of recovery and could use like two fingers, I started writing. And that's when I
Uh-huh.
started writing my book and stuff. So it was early on in doing that.